Okay, if everyone is ready, let's recite together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the sublime, the victorious, and the totally self-enlightened one. Good to see everyone. Hope everyone has a good week last week. And today we're going to talk about the Paṭicca-samuppāda. We are going to start with chapter 8. But before that, there is one clarification that I'd like to make from last session. That was about the Ariya Satya, the Dukkha Samudaya Ariya Satya. Last week, in the last part of chapter 7, we talked about the Four Noble Truths. And then when we talk about the second noble truth, the noble truth of the cause of suffering, then we mentioned that the cause of suffering is craving, tanha itself, no? And then we said that this craving is divided into three categories: the kama tanha, bhava tanha, and vibhava tanha, which are translated as craving for sensual pleasure, craving for continued existence, and craving for annihilation. And then we also mentioned that we need to be a little bit careful of these two, because the meaning is a little bit broader than that. And then the English translation might sometimes lead to a little bit of misunderstanding. Right. So about the bhava tanha, it is usually translated as the craving for continued existence, right? So last week, Edith asked the question of whether if a person craves for the existence in the Brahma world, if that is considered also bhava tanha, right? So last week, I said that in this specific case, it is not included, but it is rather like the craving accompanied by wrong view that things are permanent, no? So last week we talked about that. Then later on, when I was thinking again, then I also asked my teacher to confirm about this. There is some clarification that I need to make here. So that was not a complete information that I gave you last week. So I have to make some corrections here. Okay, so my teacher says that, of course, here, bhava tanha, craving accompanied by wrong view that things are permanent with this sasata ditthi, it is what it is meant by bhava tanha here. But the craving for continued existence can also be considered as bhava tanha as well. Although the being might not necessarily have that kind of wrong view that things are permanent, but because the person longed for a very, very long existence in the Brahma world, so it's almost feels like permanent, no? Because those lives are so long, so they live for kappas and kappas, right? So therefore, it is also included in bhava tanha. That is only for the craving for continued existence in the Brahma realm only, because those existences are so long, and not for continued existence as a human being. That is not called a bhava tanha. So specifically, that craving for existence in the Brahma world, which is very, very long, can also be called bhava tanha, even the person does not have a wrong view that the things are permanent. So that is one definition. And another one is, as we said last week, the craving accompanied by the wrong view that things are permanent. In Pali, specifically, this kind of wrong view is called a sasata ditthi. No? The things continue permanently, and then after we die, there is a soul, and then it continues, and so on. That kind of ditthi. Okay, so that is one. That is the clarification that I want to make. Then I also asked about vibhava tanha, craving for annihilation. So last week we mentioned that this vibhava here means the tanha accompanied with this kind of view, the annihilation view, that when a person dies, there will be no more. So this craving can actually be the attachment towards this view also. So not only just having craving with this view, but also the attachment or the craving, the holding on to this view itself also. Now, Edith also asked, how about a person that thinks that maybe life is not good and I do not wish to exist anymore? Like, how about those cases? So here, Sayadaw said that there are different cases. For example, if a person thinks that life is not good because the person is not getting what one wish in life, like things are not going well, and I want to be like this way, but it doesn't happen, and so I don't want to live anymore. If it is that kind of idea, then it will be mostly dosa. And then the person, there is no exit towards this. No, so maybe a person can consider suicide or whatever that wants to end this life. So maybe if this person is not getting what one wish, so it is possible that he or she is wanting something else. Wants life to be different in a way that that is not what is happening right now. Right. So in this case, if it is like that, then it could be also craving for sense desire, because maybe the person wants a more comfortable life, a better existence, but not like what it is happening right now. So dosa, and also the craving for sense desire. But this is what called vibhava tanha. There is another case. If the person thinks that life is not good, because he or she understands that life is dukkha, that samsara doesn't worth it. He or she wants to make an end to it. And then this person, he knows the way how to do it with Noble Eightfold Path, right? So that is, my teacher said, that is not craving. And that kind of wanting to not exist anymore is actually right. It's actually a right view, is actually correct, because life is really dukkha, is really not good. And that kind of wanting or desire is kusala chanda, actually. So it depends on the case of why that person does not want to exist anymore. No, but in any case, vibhava tanha only means the craving that is accompanied by the annihilationist view. So that was the correct, just like what we said last week. And so just wanted to share with you what my teacher comments about these different cases. Okay, so when we talk about the craving in the second noble truth, the tanha, then there is this kama tanha, craving for sensual pleasures. There's no problem with this one. Bhava tanha, then it can be craving for continued existence in the Brahma realm, as well as the craving accompanied by the wrong view that things are permanent. And for vibhava tanha, a better translation or more complete explanation would be the craving accompanied by the wrong view that beings are annihilated at death. So with this kind of wrong view, or the attachment to this kind of wrong view. Okay, so all kinds of tanha, all kinds of craving should fit into this either of these three types of tanha. Last week, I also mentioned that maybe there is it's just called just tanha, not kama, not bhava, or not vibhava, but it actually does not categorize in this way. So all kinds of craving must fit into one of these three category, and which is all included in the second noble truth, because the second noble truth, dukkha samudaya ariya satya, it includes all kinds of cravings here. No, so there is nothing outside of this one. So that was about what Edith asked last week, and some clarification. Okay, Edith, okay?
Yes, mainly I was very interested about the fact when someone does understand how, this life is not really worth enjoying or anything, and they wish the way out of it, because that was the most important information for me. So thank you so much for clarification.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so if the person, he or she knows that life is not good and we need to go out and we do not want to exist anymore, that is actually something good. Sayadaw said it's kusala, actually. So it's kusala chanda, the wish, good wish, and it can be samvega as well, no, the spiritual urgency of that we need to practice, we need to go out from samsara. So that is not vibhava tanha. Okay, so that was it. And then now we are going to start with chapter 8. And here we are going to talk about causality, cause and effect, mostly in this chapter. Now, with regard to cause and effect, the teachings of the Buddha does not accept that anything can arise without a cause, right? So everything there is with cause, and then there is an effect. Now, in nature, we can very easily see how these things work, no? Because the Dhamma is also just explaining how nature works, right? So, for example, if we see there are seeds, then if we plant the seeds, if there are conditions, then the effect, then the little sprouts, it will rise, right? So we have cause and we have effect. And here in this section here, the cause and effect, it has a different name here. The cause is called paccaya, which is translated as conditioning states or cause or conditions. No, that means cause or condition. So paccaya, this word is important. And then the effect is called paccayuppāna. So that means the conditioned states. So states that are being conditioned by something, or in other words, effect or fruit. So paccaya means the conditioned, which means that because of this, it conditioned something else, right? That's the cause of the condition. Then paccayuppāna are the states that arise dependent upon those conditions, depend upon the paccaya, those conditions or the causes. So that's the effect or the fruits. Now here, when we talk about cause, the paccaya, we need to understand that there are two kinds of causes. One is called the producing cause, which are directly produce something, that directly cause something to arise. And there is another one that is the supporting cause. So as here we can see in nature, the seed is a direct cause that produced the plant, right? But without sunlight, without water, without other things, that is also not possible. But the sun itself does not directly produce the plant, right? So it is called a supporting cause here. But it is also a cause and condition which is important for the plants to grow, right? Okay. So since everything is quite interconnected, as we all know, so basically everything affects some other thing, and everything is affected by something in a way also, no? So therefore, sometimes the conditions this causes, it can be a condition for other things, but sometimes they themselves can also be conditioned by something else, right? So let's see. Let's say here, in terms of nature of the plants and things, we all need soil, the seed, of course, that's the producing cause. Then we need supporting cause like water, the sun, nutrients, minerals, and etc. We have the sprouts, and then later on, it will make a small tree, and then there are leaves and trunk, and then flower and fruits and many things. So many causes produce many results, right? Okay, so this is easy to understand. We can see this every day, all the time in our lives. Now, in terms of Dhamma, what can be some conditioning states or cause or conditions for other things? And what can be paccayuppāna? What can be conditioned states? So in terms of Dhamma, citta, cetasika, and rupa, they can all be conditioning states for something else. So they can all condition or they can all cause some other thing. As well as nibbana is also a cause and conditioned, and paññatti also, concepts that are also can be cause or conditioned here. So basically everything can be a paccaya, can be a conditioning state here. It includes everything, even paññatti concept. Then how about conditioned states? What can be a conditioned state? A paccayuppāna. Paccayuppāna comprise all citta, cetasika, and rupa, except for the four characteristic marks of materiality: the production, upacaya, continuity, santati, decay, jarata, and the impermanence of death, the anicca. These four is not included, although these four are included in the 28 material properties. But here, as an effect, they are not included because these four are just the nature or the essence of matter. So they are just some kind of qualities of the matter. No? So that is why they are said to be not caused by any cause. So therefore, they cannot be. They are not an effect. They are just characters or or qualities of matter itself. So in the Paṭicca-samuppāda side, the effect side, now we have Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa. And we all know that Nibbana is unconditioned, so it cannot be conditioned by anything. Although it can condition other things, but it is not conditioned by anything, no? So it is also not included in the Paṭicca-samuppāda side. Okay, yes, Edith?
So I don't understand how concepts are not produced, basically. Like, I know they can cause all of this, like Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa, but I don't understand why themselves cannot produce different concepts, for example, or
that is because they are not ultimate reality. Concept does not exist, really. It does not exist. So it cannot be produced by or it cannot be an effect because it does not exist actually. So those later on, when we go into explaining each kind of cause and effect, then maybe it will become more clear. But in the Paṭicca-samuppāda, in the effect side, the only ultimate realities are included because those are the things that are being conditioned by other things. No?
Okay, yes.
All right. Okay, so later on we can look into more about that. But for the moment, let's go on a little bit and then we will see that later. Okay, so we are talking about the two important teachings here in chapter 8. The first one is Paṭicca-samuppāda, the dependent origination. And the second one is Patthana, the causal relation. So these two will be covered in this chapter 8 of the Abhidhamma-Sangaha. So today we are going to briefly look at the Paṭicca-samuppāda first. Since the Paṭicca-samuppāda is also very deep, so we are not going to look at it, every single thing of it today. So we are going to have a general look today, and then we'll go into more details and more details. So step by step we will go. Okay, so let's just make a general introduction. Now for Paṭicca-samuppāda, there are 12 factors, and some are the conditioning factors and then the conditioned factors. So you see that there is 12 links, so let's say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like that. So in the Paṭicca-samuppāda, it explains like A condition B, and then B condition C, and then C condition D, and then D condition E, and so on. So it explained how one conditioning factor conditioned another factor, and then this other factor become the conditioning factor for another factor, right? So if we take out one link, let's just look at one link, A and B, then that will be, A will be the paccaya, will be the conditioning states, or in other words, the cause or the conditioned, and B will be the paccayuppāna. Here will be the conditioned states or the effect, yeah, something that is being conditioned by A. So here in this case, we can say that A conditions B, yeah? Okay, then in the next link, now B becomes the paccaya, and C is the paccayuppāna. So B conditions C in this way. So the Buddha used the 12 main factors to explain the life existence of all beings. So altogether, how one thing is linked to another, is linked to another, is linked into another, like that. So it is the law of cause and effect for living beings only. For the Paṭicca-samuppāda, it does not include inanimate things. So it explains only the causal structure of the round of existence, or samsara, in other words. So with these 12 links, the Buddha explained why we are here, and how we are here, and why we are turning around in samsara, and how does it happen, right? Okay. Now, the teaching of the Paṭicca-samuppāda is not the creation of the Buddha. It is a law, or it is a law of nature. It is a natural law that has always been in the world of living beings, whether there is a Buddha or without Buddha. The Paṭicca-samuppāda is just how nature works. That's the law of conditionality. But beings that didn't know about it until the Buddha discovered it and penetrate into the cause and effect relation in this dependent origination and showed it to the world. It is a little bit just like the law of gravity. It is not created by Sir Isaac Newton. It comes along with the arising of the world. There is gravity, but we did not know about such a thing as something as gravity until Newton discovered it and revealed it to the world. No? So in the same way, Paṭicca-samuppāda is also how nature works, and it is not an invention of the Buddha. Now, it is said that the Bodhisattva practiced vipassana on all these 12 factors. He practiced meditation on the anicca, dukkha, and anatta characteristic of each of the factor of the dependent origination for many, many, many times. So even before the Buddha became a Buddha, he already knew about the Paṭicca-samuppāda. So he used this as his vipassana meditation object, and then he contemplated in the order of the arising and also in the order of cessation. So how it arises and how it ceases. Then after the enlightenment, the Buddha also continued to contemplate on the Paṭicca-samuppāda again. So this is a very, very important teaching. It is said that the Buddha know the Paṭicca-samuppāda so thoroughly with the structure of the Paṭicca-samuppāda that he can teach in different ways. No? So when we know something very, very well, then we can pick it up from any place and explain it, yeah, if we know the subject very well. So in the same way, the Buddha, sometimes in some suttas, you may see that he pick up Vedana and then he explained Vedana, Paccaya Tanha, then Tanha, Paccaya Upadana, and so on, continue from there. And sometimes then he start from the end, Jara Marana, and then he go backwards to the beginning. So in many ways, in the sutta, you will find different explanations, different teachings, sometimes not the whole 12 links, sometimes some of the links. So depending, again, on the audience, the Buddha explained accordingly. No? Okay, so that is a little introduction of the Paṭicca-samuppāda. Now, another thing, important thing to understand is that with regard to cause and effect, the teaching of the Buddha does not accept that anything arises without a cause. So something that is magically being created arises without a cause, and in this kind of idea is not accepted. Also, do not accept that anything is created or the cause or the original cause is the creation of God or Brahma. So these two, whether it is just arise automatically without a reason, or whether it is created by God or the Brahma, these two kinds of views are rejected. According to the Buddha's teaching, they are just net law of nature. They are just conditions and causes that arise due to the law of nature. So in the Paṭicca-samuppāda, this natural relationship between cause and effect that explain the existence of beings in samsara will be explained. Now, you see that there is a chart here, and this graphic was actually created back in 2019 in a course on the dependent origination, Paṭicca-samuppāda, that we took with Sayadaw Unanda Malabiwamsa in Myanmar. So at that time, Sayadaw, he gave guidance, and he gave a little drawing on in a small piece of paper, and then he asked us to make this into a graphic. So with Sayadaw's guidance, Bhante Rahula and two other very dear Dhamma friends, Evgeny and Tatiana, and myself, we created this graphic, which includes the different layers of the Paṭicca-samuppāda, such as the time frame and then the different rounds, etc. So later on, we will use this chart to study. It has more complete information on it. And Sayadaw called this the Bhava Chakra. No? Bhava, that means life. Chakra means the wheel, so the wheel of life. So this is how we keep turning around in samsara. And later on, we will use this graphic to study. But first, I'd like to introduce the 12 factors first, the 12 links first. Okay, I think most of you have already heard about the 12 links, but as a general idea, then we will first go into introducing what are they, and then later on we will go into detail of each of the factor. Okay, the first one, avijja paccaya sankhara. Translated as, because there is ignorance as condition, karma formations arise So because there is ignorance, avijja is a synonym as moha, no? So ignorance here. Because we are not free from ignorance yet, whatever action we do, we still plant seeds, right? It's still either kusala or akusala. Yeah, for a person that is not totally enlightened yet. For another hand, whatever action they do not create karma anymore. Or what they do are just kriya, not just functional. But for a being that is not yet enlightened yet, as long as there are still ignorance, avijja, then whatever we do, it will either be kusala or akusala. So therefore here, in the first link, avijja paccaya sankhara, because there is still ignorance, we keep doing all kinds of different actions. We keep planting seeds. And whenever seeds are planted, what happened? Result is going to happen, right? Then so it goes to the second link. Sankhara paccaya vijnanam. Now here, this sankhara, avijja paccaya sankhara and sankhara paccaya vijnana, here this sankhara, we take it as karma, or just purely the different kinds of actions. So mental action, verbal action, and physical action, whether kusala or akusala. No, this is karma. Sankhara here is karma, okay? Later on, we will go into details. Now, because there is still ignorance, then we do kusala or we do akusala. With kusala and with akusala, what happened? Vipaka citta will arise, yeah? So, sankhara paccaya vijnana. Vijnana here, we take it as the vipaka citta. Because we have did some karma previously, so when conditions arise, then the vipaka citta, or especially here, the patisandhi citta, a new life will be generated because of what we did, wholesome or unwholesome. Yeah, okay, until here, all good? Yes, okay. Due to the karma we did in the past, life is being generated, a new life, vipaka citta, yeah? Then vijnana paccaya nama rupam. Now here, vijnana, if we take it as the patisandhi citta, then citta is already taken. Here, the nama rupa need to take cetasikas and the rupa that arise together with this citta, right? So because there is consciousness as conditioned, mind and matter arise. Yes, Amar?
So in the previous chain, can you go back to previous chain? Here is sankhara, like, is it the 5 aggregate sankhara, or how do you explain this sankhara?
Yes,
is it
Amar.
all like, okay.
Yeah, Ahmad, we will go into details. We will go into details after this general explanation. We will take avijja and we will study what is avijja. What does avijja exactly means? And then we will study sankhara and we will see what sankhara means. And then we will take vijnana and see what vijnana refers to. And then we will take nama and rupa in different cases, which vijnana condition which nama and rupa, like that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So we will leave that details. We're just going a general introduction of the factors first, then we will go into the ultimate reality. Okay, so just in a general sense, let's understand that because there is ignorance, then we keep doing wholesome or unwholesome. Then because there is wholesome and unwholesome karma, result is going to happen. So therefore, patisandhi citta, this rebirth, a new rebirth will arise, or vipaka citta, result in consciousness is going to arise. So karma formation, because there is karma formation as a condition, consciousness arise. Vijnana paccaya nama rupa, because there is consciousness as conditioned, then mind and matter arise. Together with this vipaka citta, cetasika and rupa, they also arise together, no? So this vipaka citta, they are conditioned for the accompanied cetasikas and also some kind of other rupas will arise together. Let's go to the next link. Nama rupa paccaya salayatana. Well, a new life is already created. We already acquired mind and matter. Because of that, then what is going to be developed? Later on, the 6 bases will arise also, no? So when we first take conception in the mother's womb, let's say, as human being, then we have nama and rupa, the patisandhi already arise. Then later on, the eye sensitivity, ear sensitivity, and all these 6 bases will also developed, right? So in this case, nama rupa paccaya salayatana. Because there are mind and matter as conditioned, the 6 bases arise. After that, salayatana paccaya phaso. If there are the 6 bases as conditioned, because there are the 6 bases, what arise? Contact arise, right? Because we have I, because there is I, then I consciousness can arise. We can see, we can get in contact with the visible object. Then because there is ear sensitivity as the base, 6 spaces, then we can take sound as object, we can get into contact with sound, right? So because there is a 6 bases as conditioned, contact arise. Now, when we encounter a pleasant object, let's say phasa here, what happened when we encounter something pleasant? We like it now, we feel good about it, we feel pleasant. So a mental sensation arise because of contact. So phasa paccaya vedana is this next link. Because of phasa, because we have 6 senses, we get into contact with object. Now, with the contact of object, what arise? What happened? After it gets into contact, mental feelings arise. There are feelings, different kinds of feelings, different kind of vedana. Somanasa, domanasa, upekkha, dukkha, and sukha. No? So when we get in touch with different objects, sometimes we feel pleasant, we feel unpleasant, or we feel equanimous towards that object, or a bodily pleasant or bodily unpleasant sensation will arise. Yeah. Okay, then what happened next? Vedana paccaya tanha. Because of Vedana, if it is a pleasant feeling, we feel good and we like it, and we act, we want more of that. And if it is a dukkha feeling or a domanasa, we don't like it, we want things to be different. So whichever way, Vedana paccaya tanha. Because there is mental feeling as conditioned, because we feel good or we don't feel good, we want something, want more, or we want it to be different. So therefore, it's called Vedana paccaya tanha, because there is mental feeling as conditioned, craving arise. Now, this link here, Vedana paccaya tanha, is very important because this is also the exit of the Paṭicca-samuppāda. So later on, we'll go into more details. Okay. Tanha paccaya upadanam. Because there is craving as conditioned, grasping arise. When there is craving, when there is a lot of lobha, then it grows into the stage of upadana, into grasping. Then one holds on to very firmly, holds on to the object very firmly, and we cannot give it up. And that's upadana, right? Now, of course, this object is not necessarily a material thing. It can be an idea. It can be existence itself. We like this existence. We hold on to the existence, and we want to be here, no? Because of our grasping and because of our idea, we like things this way, we like things that way. And what happened? Upadana paccaya bhavo. Because there is grasping as conditioned, becoming arise. Now here, bhava, this word becoming, we have to understand it in 2 ways. We have kama bhava, and another one is called upapati bhava. Now let's talk about kama bhava first. Kama bhava is actually just karma itself. So because we hold on to life, because we hold on to our idea, we grasp onto the object, we think this is good, we think this is bad, we like things this way, we like things that way. So we act accordingly, So we do either wholesome or unwholesome according to our ideas, according to how we like things, or according to our attachment or our grasping. Yeah. So we do different kind of actions. So here, this is kama bhava, meaning all kinds of karma actions, kusala, akusala, cetana, the volition. Okay, so that is one definition. And then there is another one, upapati bhava. Now, upapati bhava means the new becoming of the 5 aggregates. Now, under the influence of clinging, of grasping, we engaged in action, wholesome or unwholesome, which accumulate karma. Yeah. So because of this action, there will be again a 5 aggregate will arise again. Because there is karma, there will be a result again. No? So clinging is a condition for the resultant existence. Because of that same clinging, it leads us back into the round of the samsara again and again and again, depending on the karma that we did. If it is a wholesome karma, they will be rebirthed in the pleasant realm. If it is unwholesome karma, it will be rebirthed into unpleasant realm. But in any case, it is clinging, because we have clinging, we do different kinds of actions, and because of these different kinds of action, a new life will happen accordingly. So that the new becoming of the 5 aggregates is called, the becoming here is called upapati bhava. So we have to understand this bhava, this becoming, in 2 senses. One is karma bhava, which is the karma, the actions that we do, the cetana, volition, and the becoming of a new existence. Okay, so because of clinging as a condition, then this becoming arise. Now, what's next? Bhava paccaya jati. Because there is becoming as conditioned, then birth arise. Now here in this link, this bhava, we take it as only as the karma bhava. So only because there is karma, then when conditions arise, there will be a result. Then a new birth will arise. Birth new patisandhi, a new birth will arise. And with birth as a condition, jati paccaya jara maranam, old age and death will arise, right? When one is born, then one is bound to get old, get sick, and die, no? Well, some people, they do not have the opportunity to get old. Some young people can also die. But this old age and sickness and death, it's part of, it comes together with jati, right? So because we are born, then old age and sickness will arise. And also together with old age and sickness, not only just that, but sorrow, lamentation, physical and mental pain, and despair also arise. So jati paccaya jara maranam soka paridewa dukkha domana supasaya sambhavanti. So here, you see this sorrow, lamentation, physical and mental pain, and despair. These ones in yellow, they are not necessarily, there are some beings, let's say the Brahma being, physical pain and mental pain, or like lamentation and sorrow, for them, it does not arise in the Brahma realm. So those are, for some beings, it does not arise, but old age and death will arise for the Brahma being as well. As a human being, most probably it will surely be here. But although it says the sorrow, the lamentation, and all the pain and all those, and the despair and all these things, of course, life is not just all full of this suffering. There are also happy time also, no? So sometimes we also feel good, sometimes we are also happy. But what the Buddha wants to mean here is, even however life is good, however comfortable, however healthy, whatever it may be, it is still not free from the old age and death, right? So we can be the happiest person, still old age and death is going to come. So that is what is meant by the jati paccaya jara marana soka paridewa dukkha domana supasaya in this link. So although there is also some happiness, but it is not free from samsara, free from the death or the round of rebirth. That's the last link, or the 12th link. So we have seen avijja paccaya sankhara. Just general, in the general sense, we understand that because there is still ignorance, then we do things good or bad, wholesome and unwholesome. Then sankhara paccaya vijnanam, because we do wholesome and unwholesome, there will be result. Rebirth consciousness is going to arise because of our previous karma. Vijnana paccaya nama rupa, because there is vijnana, because there is a vipaka resulting consciousness, then cetasikas and the rupa that is accompanying this consciousness, they will arise also. And because there is nama and rupa, then the beings, 5 aggregate beings, also acquire the 6 senses, right? With the 6 senses, we get into contact with objects. Then because there is contact, then vedana arise. Because there is vedana, pleasant or unpleasant, craving arise. We want more, or we want something to be different. Then with craving, clinging and grasping arise. And with clinging and grasping to this existence, to our idea, again, we act. Again, we act, we do a wholesome and unwholesome deed. Because of that, a new bhava, the 5 aggregate, is going to arise again. So because of this arising of the 5 aggregates, we're born. There is jati. When one is born, or birth is the condition for jara, maranam, soka, parideva, dukkha, domana, supasaya, sambhavanti. Old age, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, physical pain, mental pain, and despair, and all this mass of suffering originate because of that. So these are briefly, in general, the 12 links in the Paṭicca-samuppāda, how one thing links to another and links to another. And this Paṭicca-samuppāda explains the law of nature for any living beings, all kinds of living beings. Now, Paṭicca-samuppāda, it does not explain the relationship between outside things or between one matter and another matter, like the trees or the plants and all, like outside things. But it explains only the relationship between these factors for animated beings, for human, for brahmas, devas, pettas, or all kinds of beings in the different realms. So it explains about the causal structure of the round of existence. So up till now, we have just did a very quick round, a very general look of the 12 factors. What are they? Later on, we are going to get into details and to see each link, what does it exactly mean. Okay, so because of these 12 factors that we have just seen being rolled on in samsara again and again, turning around and around. Now, but there is a good news also. As we said, there is an exit to this round. So if we break one of these 12 links, then we come to the exit of samsara. So later on, we will also talk about where is the exit and what we need to do, how to do, how to go through this. Okay, so let's take a 5 minutes break here, and then we will go into details of each link. Yeah? Okay. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Okay. So in the last part, we have seen very generally about the 12 links. I know there will be a lot of questions because we have not gone into detail yet. So there are many things that are not yet being explained. But we are going to get into details step by step and slowly, because it is very difficult to explain everything in detail in the very first round, right? When we're just introducing each factor. So what we just did right now is just a very general introduction of the 12 links, how, well, and what are they and how they are related to each other. And later on, from now, we are going to be a little bit more detailed about each factor, and we'll go into see what exactly each factor is and then how they are related to each other. And then after that, we are going to further details to explain about the time frame of the Paṭicca-samuppāda, and also the different rounds and different aspect to the bhava-chakra, to the wheel of life, right? Okay, so now let's just continue to take a look at, again, cause and effect. Now, with cause and effect, we have to understand that in the Buddha's teaching, there is no single cause to single effect. So this idea is not accepted. So there are always many causes that contributes to many effects. For cause and effect, we can understand it in four different ways. So it can be one cause to many effect, or one cause to one effect, or many causes to one effect, or many causes to many effects. So in the Buddha's teaching, only the last one, many causes to many effects, are being accepted. So all the other three is not accepted. So there are many causes, many conditions, and so there are many effects also, right? But here you see in the Paṭicca-samuppāda, we only see that there is one factor that linked to the other factor and then linked to another factor and linked to another factor. Now here we must understand that this is not a single cause that linked to the single effect, and not again the same become a single cause that links to a single effect. It's always a lot of causes and a lot of effects. There is multiple conditions, no, for multiple effects. But here, this only one factor is mentioned in each link because they are the most important, or the main contribution. No? The most important thing is only being mentioned here. But we need to understand that there are more, no? Many causes, many conditions for many effects to happen. So one time when we were studying Paṭicca-samuppāda in Myanmar, Seado Nandamala, he said, when someone asks you, what did you have for breakfast this morning? Then you may say, I have bread and coffee. Yeah, we may say that. But actually, we didn't just have bread and coffee. We also have sausage, we also have egg, we also have tomato, we also have butter, we also have jam, and we have milk and sugar and the coffee. No? But we don't say everything. We only say the main thing. Yeah. So we don't mention all the items that are included in the breakfast. So in the same way, in the Paṭicca-samuppāda, only the main factor, the bread and the coffee, are being mentioned here. But we need to understand, together with that bread, there is also many other things that comes together with the breakfast. So we need to understand many causes for many effects. Okay, so that having said, let's go into the details of the first link. Avijja paccaya sankhara. Because there is ignorance as conditioned, the karma formation arise. One more detail that I have to mention here. When we recite the Paṭicca-samuppāda, then at the end, at the very end, it says sambhavanti, no? Jati, paccaya, jara, marana, sokha, paridewa, dukkha, domana, supasaya, sambhavanti. We say sambhavanti. Sambhavanti means arise. So because there is birth as condition, old age, death, sorrow, lamentation, physical and mental pain and despair arise. No? So according to Pali grammar, this sambhavanti, it's mentioned only at the end. This arise. No? But we need to understand that in every link, actually, we need to add this arise, this word. Sambhavanti, no? So avijja paccaya sankhara sambhavanti. If it is plural, sambhavanti. If it is singular, sambhavati. So because there is ignorance as conditioned, karma formation arise. So each link, it comes like that. So otherwise, it will only be because there is ignorance as conditioned, karma formation. Then without the arise, then the sentence is not complete. So when we study that, then we add the sambhavanti here also. Okay, so let's take a look at what is avijja here. What does avijja means when we say avijja paccaya sankhara sambhavanti? Avijja. One of the definitions of this avijja is the moha cetasika. No? The moha cetasika that associate with the 12 akusala citta is what is meant by avijja here, no? As a first definition. So moha cetasika associated with the 12 akusala citta is considered as avijja, but also the not understanding of the Four Noble Truths is also considered as avijja here. And not only that, the not understanding of the 5 aggregates, whether it is from the past, from the future, from the past and future, these are also considered as avijja, as ignorance. Now, what does it mean by not understanding the aggregate? We all know that the 5 aggregates, we are actually made up of what we call I, or me, is made up of the 5 aggregates. No, the mind, 4 belongs to mind and 1 belongs to matter. No, so mind and matter only. But we do not understand the 5 aggregates. So sometimes we have this kind of thoughts of we have this kind of idea of like, what am I? How am I? And where does this being come from, and where is it bowing to? And sometimes because we don't understand about the 5 aggregate, aggregates, that means we don't understand the past 5 aggregates as well. We don't understand how we became what we are, like these 5 aggregates, how it became. Then one may think, was I in the past? What was I not in the past? What was I in the past? How was I in the past? Now, having been what was I in? Having been what was I in the past? Or shall I be in the future? Shall I not be in the future? What shall I be in the future? How shall I be in the future? Or having been what shall I be in the future? No? So all these kinds of doubt or not understanding will arise because of the not understanding of 5 aggregates. So what I'm saying now, this was I in the past? Was I not in the past? Was I in? How was I? Having been what? What am I? Like this? All this, it comes actually from the sutta. It says like that. No? So we have this perplexed idea about our existence. So in short, we can say that it is not understanding of what of the 5 aggregates, meaning not understanding of the existence. We don't understand how the 5 aggregate was in the past. Hence, we don't understand how it is in the present and how it is going to be in the future also. So not understanding the noble truth and not understanding about existence and not understanding about the dependent origination are also called avijja here. Okay, so in short, it's just the not understanding reality as it is, right? So not understanding reality as it is called avijja. It's called ignorance or moha here. Now let's see, what does it mean by sankhara then? Then because of this not understanding as a condition, then what arise? So here it says sankhara arise, sankhara sambhavanti. Now this sankhara here, it means karma formation. It's translated as karma formation. So because we do not see things as they truly are, we do not see the true nature of things, we do merits or sometimes we do demerits. So we do wholesome, unwholesome, kusala and akusala. As long as there are craving and ignorance, we will always be doing something, right? That will give result in the future. Whether it is wholesome or unwholesome, we will still keep doing either kusala or akusala. Until we become a fully enlightened being, we do not plant seeds anymore. But before that, we will always be doing some kind of action, whether it is verbal action, physical action, or mental action. Okay, so kusala, because of this kusala and akusala, as long as there is craving, we're always turning around in samsara. We're always doing something and always result is happening. We do again when the result happened, we do again when the result happened. Now with akusala, it's easier to understand. Now, because of ignorance and craving, then we do unwholesome actions. That's quite straightforward. Now we can all understand. Because of craving, because of ignorance, then we do all kinds of unwholesome deeds. Then how about kusala? Wholesome actions. How is wholesome action based on ignorance and craving? Now, if we do something good, we're wholesome, we help someone, we're being generous or being respectful. And so, but how is it possible that good actions are also based on avijja and tanha? How is it always also based on the craving and ignorance? Now here we have to understand that this craving and ignorance, they are supportive cause. They are not direct cause. They are indirect cause. They're only supportive. They're not productive. So this craving and ignorance do not directly produce good actions, but they are also kind of conditioned for these wholesome actions to arise. How so? Sometimes, because we crave for a better life, we know that if we do good, if we do wholesome deeds, then there will be good result. We create wholesome karma, there will be wholesome good result will happen. So because of craving, we do good. Sometimes it can be also, yeah. Or sometimes just purely because of wisdom, because of kindness, we also do wholesome deeds. But whenever kusala is done, a wholesome action is done, then there will always be a result of that kusala also. Yeah, the result is bound to happen when the conditions are favorable, whenever seeds are planted. Yeah, so that means when we do kusala, then we may have a good life, we may have a comfortable life. However, even the life is so good and so comfortable, it is still not free from dukkha. It is still unsatisfactory. So because of the delusion, because we don't understand that even a good life is at the end not good, because it is not free from old age, sickness, and death, because of not understanding, we want to continue to do good. Yeah. Then that not understanding is the basis, because we are still here, we still exist. That is the basis for us to do kusala also. So that's why that is called a supportive cause or an indirect cause here. Or even if we practice samatha meditation and gain jhana and be reborn into the highest arupa realm, we are still not free from samsara. It's still rolling on. Yeah. So this not understanding of however good life may be, even if it will be the best, the most peaceful and most perfect life, is still not free from dukkha and still not free from samsara because of this not understanding or not knowing the reality as it is. Then we do meritorious deed, we do demeritorious deed, or even to attain jhana, the highest jhana, is the even. So that sankhara here, this sankhara here, actually means all our actions, all kinds of actions. Now, this sankhara can be classified in different way, 2 ways. Now, the first way, we can classify it according to the door. So, kaya sankhara, vaji sankhara, and mano sankhara. Kaya sankhara, which means in ultimate reality, the chetana of all kinds of kusala and akusala deed through the body door. Then vaji sankhara, all kinds of kusala and akusala done through the verbal door. And the same way, the chetana of all kinds of kusala and akusala, as well as all the jhanas, that is through the mind door. No? But of course, the jhana is definitely through the mind door. We do not attain jhana by bodily action or by verbal action. No, so this is mind. So all this, you see, all kinds of kusala and akusala are all included in these 3 types of action. So it is one way to classify this sankhara. Or we can also classify it according to its quality. If we classify in this way, the first one is called punya-abhi sankhara. Punya means merit, meritorious. So punya abhi sankhara. Abhi sankhara means karma or mental formation. So the meritorious mental formation. So here again, the ultimate reality are the chetana of all kind of karma kusala plus the 5 rupa jhana. That is called punya-abhi sankhara. The next group will be apunya-abhi sankhara. So punya is meritorious. So apunya is demeritorious. No? So demeritorious mental formation or karma formation. No? So all kinds of akusala, chetana of all kinds of akusala here. And the last group is called anenja-abhi sankhara. Anenja means unshakable or immovable. Then abhisankhara, karma, mental formation. So here it refers to the 4 arupa vachara jhana. That's also still mental action. Yeah. So this sankhara, we can understand it to mean all kinds of kusala and akusala. And we can classify it according to the quality or according to the door. Amar, okay?
Yeah, but from ultimate reality perspective, this is still the 5 aggregates, right? I mean, sankhara.
No. In ultimate reality, this sankhara means chetana that is associated with either kusala or akusala. It's
just the chetana chaitashika?
Yes, sankhara includes all kind of kusala and akusala chetana here. Lokiya,
right.
all kind of lokiya. Mundane one, no? That's the ultimate reality. of the sankhara, which is meant by this avijja paccaya sankhara. Because there is ignorance, we do all kinds of actions, wholesome or unwholesome, even arupa vachara jhana also. So all kind of mundane, wholesome or unwholesome action here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So avijja paccaya sankhara. Because there is ignorance as conditioned, karma formations arise. That's the first link. Then now we understand what is meant by avijja, which is the moha cetasika associated with the 12 akusala chittas, or the not understanding of reality as it is. So because of this not understanding, we do different kinds of wholesome and unwholesome actions through the 3 doors. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next link. Sankhara paccaya vijnanam. Because there is karma as conditioned, consciousness arise. Okay, because we do all kinds of different actions, these actions will give result. Now here, vijnana means vipaka chittas, resultant consciousness, not all chitta, just resultant consciousness. First, we take this. And it can be divided into 2 times, patisandhi time, the rebirth time, and also bhavati time, during lifetime. So if, let's take the patisandhi time first, the rebirth time. So what does this vijnana means? Now, because we do wholesome or unwholesome action, then a rebirth will occur, will happen. So when we take it during patisandhi time, that means the 19 types of patisandhi chitta that is possible for all beings. So there are 19 types of vijnana, of consciousness, that we studied in chapter 1 that can perform the rebirth function. Yeah. So in that case, during patisandhi time, we have to take this vijnana to be any of those 19 type of patisandhi chitta. Okay. Now, sometimes when it is bhavati time, during lifetime, then we take this consciousness to be the 32 kinds of lokiya vibhaka chitta, the mundane resultant consciousness. Then they can be the result of ahetuka, kusala, rootless, wholesome resultant, unwholesome resultant, wholesome resultant with roots, and those rupavachara resultant and the arupavachara resultant as well. So these vipaka chitta are to be taken to be the vijnana for bhavati time. So there are a little bit more details because depending on the being, sometimes that it can also vary. Yeah. Okay, but in general, for human being, it will be more or less in this way. So we take this vijnana to be the vipaka chitta either in rebirth time or during lifetime. Okay, let's go to the next link. Vijnana paccaya nama rupam. Because there is consciousness as conditioned, cetasika and metta arise, no? Okay, now in this link, it's a little bit more complex, but step by step, we're going to understand the different situation, different occasions. Now, this vijnana, if we take this vijnana first to be the resultant consciousness during rebirth time, so patisandhi time, patisandhi consciousness, in that case, what arises together with this patisandhi chitta? It's associate cetasika as well as kamaja rupa, no, at that time. So when patisandhi chitta arise, then the associated cetasika and the 3 groups of the kamaja rupa will arise at the same time. Okay, so that is for the 5 aggregate beings, for beings who have mind and matter, both. Yeah. Now for arupa being, this link will only be vijnana paccaya nama only. So because for arupa being, they have no rupa, no? So therefore, because there is consciousness as conditioned, only cetasika that is associated with this chitta will arise. It conditioned those cetasika, but not rupa. Yeah, the kamaja rupa does not arise for arupa being. Okay, then how about asanya-satta brahmas? For asanya-satta brahmas, there is no mind at all, so cetasika will not arise. So because there is consciousness as conditioned, metta arises in this case only. There's only rupa, no mind. Yeah. Then for other kinds of 5 aggregate beings, which is the beings in the 4-woeful state, human, deva, and rupa being, then it will be this patisandhicitta, conditioning, cetasika, as well as kamaja rupa. So for human or 5 aggregates beings will be both. So in this link, vijnana paccaya nama rupa, there are different possibilities and different realms for different beings. So depending on the case, it can be vijnana paccaya nama, vijnana paccaya rupa, or vijnana paccaya nama rupa. No? So different possibilities. Okay. Now, so we have looked at this nama and rupa here, right? So let's take a look at that vijnana again, because it also can have some variation if we go into details. Now, vijnana paccaya nama rupa, because there is consciousness as conditioned, cetasika and metta arise. So we have only talked about the vijnana referring to patisandhicitta, only rebirth consciousness, no, during the rebirth moment, yeah. This vijnana can also mean not only the patisandhicitta, it can also mean other kinds of vipaka-citta. Now, when it means other kinds of vipaka-citta, that is not at patisandhi moment, then in this case, it will be the cetasikas that are associated with this vipaka-citta. It will be the conditioned by it, as well as those cittaja rupa. In this case, it's not the kamaja rupa because it is not the rebirth moment, right? So this cittaja rupa, this rupa will be the cittaja rupa in this case. Also, sometimes this vijnana can be some other kind of vijnana also. So not patisandhicitta and also not the 32 lokiya citta as well. We can also understand it to be something that is called abhisankara vijnana. That means the all kinds of lokiya kusala citta or akusala citta. Those are altogether 29 cittas, the 12 akusala and the 17 lokiya kusala citta. No? So these are called abhisankara vijnana. In this case, if we take this vijnana to mean abhisankara vijnana, lokiya, kusala, and akusala citta, because of this previous kusala and akusala, the result during lifetime, those kamaja rupa will continue to arise until the 17 moment before death consciousness arise. No? So this rupa that is arising, they are not only arising from the karma that created the patisandhi citta, but also from the kusala and akusala karma that we have done in our previous life, right, in previous time. So those can also create kamaja rupa, no? So if we take those, so those correspondent, what it conditioned will also vary in this case. Also, for the case of asanyasata, this vijnana for asanyasata is actually one of these abhisankara vijnana, because for an asanyasata, when they passed away, there is no patisandhi for that life, next life, no? Because there is no mind at all. So only rupa are being generated. And those rupa are being generated by that 5th arupavachara jhana. So that is a kusala, the kusala citta. No? So that kusala citta generated those rupa for the asanyasata being. So therefore, in that case, for the asanyasata being, that vijnana also is not a resulting consciousness. It is actually the 5th rupavachara jhana, no? Jhana citta that created that. Anyway, this is a little bit in details. I just wanted to show you that it is possible to understand this vijnana and this namarupa in different cases for different realm, for different beings. There are different variations for them. Because this Paṭicca-samuppāda, it covers all kinds of beings in all kinds of realms. So therefore, depending on case, we need to understand what this vijnana mean. But of course, for human, then that we can understand it to be the vipaka-citta, either during patisandhi time, the conditions, the cetasika and the kamaja rupa, and also pawati time during lifetime, those are the vipaka-cittas together with the citta with the Cetasika and the Chitta Rupa is what is meant by this link, Vijnana Paccaya Nama Rupam in this case. Yes, Edith.
How about the Bhavanga Chitta?
Bhavanga Chitta is a resultant consciousness.
Yes, so it would be included in the during the lifetime.
Now, Bhavanga Chitta,
Okay.
you remember Bhavanga Chitta is actually a function of the resultant consciousness, no? So what kind of chitta can become the Bhavanga Chitta? That's the 19th type of the Patisandhi Chitta, no? So those if you go back to what kind of chitta are they are either the unwholesome resultant or wholesome resultant with or without roots, or the rupavachara vipaka, arupavachara vipaka, no? But there is no one type of chitta that is called Bhavanga Chitta. It's only this resultant consciousness that perform the Bhavanga function. You understand what I mean? So Bhavanga Chitta is not a type of chitta, but it's a function that those resultant consciousness perform.
But it still generates, that vijnana also generates further cetasikas and rupas, no?
It does. Bhavanga Chitta will be included in the Pavati time, because this kind of Vipaka Chitta performed the Bhavanga function, no? So
yes,
it is included in this category, and it will condition those Chatasika that arise together, as well as the Chittaja Rupa that arise.
Yes, this is what I thought that it's happening. It's just I wanted to make sure that. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Yes, Sanda?
Yes, I don't know if I misunderstood. So there are beings who have only rupa and not cetasikas. I missed the chapter about the beings, so maybe if I revisit that, I will.
Yes, asanya sata, that is called in English, sometimes translated as the non-percipient being. So because due to, let's say a person in this lifetime as a human being, for example, no? Practice the 5th Pavachara jhana. But this person, he or she has this idea that, actually, all kinds of human problems or all kinds of being problems, all kinds of problems are because of the mind. If there will be no mind, the only matter does not generate any kind of trouble. No, so matter, it's okay, but mind is the problem. So if there will be no mind, it will be, how good would that be? Yeah. So if he has this kind of idea and he attained the highest jhana, then with the power of that jhana, then he will be reborn into that Brahma realm, which mind does not arise, there is only rupa, there's no mind for those beings. Mind does not arise, and they live for a very long time.
Yeah, in a kind of vegetative state or something like this.
Yes, it's kind of like a statue. Oh, rupa is happening, but there is they do not perceive anything, no consciousness.
Yeah, I forgot that they have rupa. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. They have rupa. Yes. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So when we go into details, then things also become more clear, but sometimes it gets a little bit complicated because there are different situations and for different beings and different realms. So the most complicated link is Namarupa and Salayatana, actually, only. Then these two links are a little bit more complex, then all other are quite straightforward. So today, yes, Bruce?
Okay. Yeah, I put in the chat, it's kind of lengthy, but was it Manjahima Nikaya, number 9? It makes a statement that with the arising of the taints, there is a rising of ignorance. So that's stating that the taints precede ignorance. But then in the same sutta, it says different. It says with the rising of ignorance, there's a rising of taints. I mean, it's not a big deal, I guess, though. But do you have any viewpoint on that? Why they?
Okay. Thank you, Bruce. Now, for the Paṭicca-samuppāda, it starts with avijja-paccaya sankhara, no? So with ignorance as a condition, sankhara, arise. So we do all kinds of meritorious or demeritorious actions. So sometimes when we say that's it, then is avijja the first thing, the first link, the first thing, no? So avijja itself must also have some kind of conditioned, right? So where is the start? How does it start? How does this bhavacakka start? So later on, when we study the will, then it will become a bit more clear. Now, when we say ignorance, it is the main cause, like in the breakfast, that's the coffee and the tea. But there are other things as well. So all the other craving, of course, tanha, and all other defilements, they are also included. Because of that, we still have all those, no? So they are together. And so ignorance is not alone. It's not alone. So it has also its cause. So when it goes the round, in short, I will just very briefly say it now. When it goes to the end, then because of avijja, then it comes to the birth and then old age, sickness, and death. Yeah. Then so it is said that because when we are born here, when we are already a being, then there is all this kind of suffering because the mind is perplexed because of this kind of suffering, then ignorance also arises. So it is a full circle going round and round. So because we exist, because of all kinds of this suffering, then beings tend to have more ignorance because of those, and then so it kind of links all together. So they are all related. When we go to the bhavacakka, that graphic that we saw a little while ago, then it will become more clear, because inside the Paṭicca-samuppāda, there are also different vatas, no? They are called the different rounds. So there is this kilesa round. It will include not only avijja, but also tanha and upadana, they are together. Yeah. So at that time, we will study the different rounds.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I think today we will stop here. Next session, we will continue with the Nama Rupa Paccaya Salayatana. I would like to listen from you to see like if it is easy to understand, if it is very complex, or how do you feel about the explanation so far?
Well, one of the things I like that's more difficult is you're using Pali all the time, which I need to learn Pali better. So it's a big help for me.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Sometimes. Okay. I'll try to mention more the English translation of the word, but sometimes the Pali words they are shorter, and also there is no doubt about what we are talking about, because if we use an English translation, sometimes we don't know what we refer to exactly. So therefore, I tend to use more the Pali words, and to be sure that make sure we're talking about what we are talking about. But in any case, I try to maybe use both whenever I remember. Then so we know what we are talking about. Yeah. Thanks, Bruce. Yes, Edith?
I was just, I know we're not there yet, actually, with the senses and contact and Vedana and all that. But when you were mentioning it, right, in the chains, I was just thinking like you were kind of saying that because there are our senses, I mean, it felt like you say that we have a choice. We don't have a choice. We are going to experiencing through the senses, right? Like they are like coming in whether you want it or not. So basically, like I feel like it's like predestined. You don't have a choice. It's going to come constantly, and the feeling will come.
The choice is not the choice is not in that link, Edit. The choice is
I know.
Tanha.
Yes, so that's what I was getting at. Like there are like certain links where whether we say, "Oh, I wanted to see this or that or the other thing," it's not true that you can break it, or that basically you are pretty much tied into samsara up until you get to the reactions, right? To the grasping. Yeah, and I mean, it just made me like so sad to see that.
Not to the
how we
grasping,
are
but to the craving. One link
to the
before.
craving. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because when it is a resultant, we cannot do anything about it. So when we study the different layers of the Paṭicca-samuppāda, we will also see that what are the past cause, then what are the present cause, present result. For the result part, nothing to do. There is nothing to do because cause are already done in the past, right? Then with the present result, then we create a present cause. With the present cause, it will give future result. So Paṭicca-samuppāda talk about 3 lives. Because of past, we are born now. Yeah. Because now, how it depends. So now we already have this present result, which, as you said, there is nothing to do about it. That we cannot control. But how we react to what we are getting in contact with, that is the link. Where that is the exit. That is the exit. Yeah, whether we react to it with defilements, with moha, with loba and dosa, or we react to it with wisdom. That's the exit, no? That's the practice, right? So that is the link where we can actually do something about it. All the other ones, resultant, nothing to do. So those are the present cause. So if we continue to create more present cause for future result to happen, then we are turning around again because it is continuing, it's turning around. But if we stop here, then that's the exit. Yeah.
Yes, it's just pretty hard to accomplish all this.
Yeah, or anything that is worthy is not easy, no? If it is easy, then it will be arahant or everywhere, yeah? So it's not easy, but it is possible. And that's important, no? The Buddha told us that it is possible if we practice the correct way. So all we have to do is try.
Thank you.
Welcome. So anyone else? I want to hear like how you feel about so far, like today, if it is easy to understand, if it is difficult to understand, if it is too complicated, if it is okay.
It's okay. I think it's not that difficult.
Not that difficult, right? Okay, that's
yeah, good. Maybe because I had some background in Paṭicca-samuppāda already.
Yeah, you have already studied that before. That is good. That's helpful. Yeah, I imagine if it is the first time.
When other layers come, it will be probably more interesting, right?
Yes.
Klesa leads to Kamma leads to Vipaka, and there's the water, like, right?
Yes. Yeah, there are more different, more elements to the Paṭicca-samuppāda. Yeah.
Maybe someone who didn't study this can say something about this.
Yeah, so I feel it's a very complicated, difficult subject, but the way you explain it is a little easier to understand.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Thank you, Saji. Okay. Yeah. So although what I'm saying here is also not complete, because the Paṭicca-samuppāda is a very, very deep subject. Even the Buddha said, even Ananda, no, Venerable Ananda said it is actually not so difficult to understand. And the Buddha tell him, no, Ananda, don't say that, no. So Paṭicca-samuppāda is deep, it's very deep, it's difficult to understand. So I myself also do not understand it completely, but try my best to just share what my teacher has told me. And if there are some like questions and place where we do not understand, then we can always go back and ask our teacher. And there are explanations. I think after we cover all these the different layers, then we will have a fairly good basic of the understanding of the Paṭicca-samuppāda. So yeah, so that's good enough to start with, and it will be good basic for further study, because it is going to be maybe lifetime study, no? for this Paṭicca-samuppāda until we attain enlightenment. Yeah, we just need to continue. Yeah. Yes, Sanda.
Yeah, for me it's in layers, and as you, I think you said that the first time you understand that level that you are, and maybe next time you understand other aspects and so on and so forth. But yeah, I consider that I am very, very lucky to come around the first time, or
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. Great. Okay, Mila, how about you?
The basics, the basic explanation, actually, I have like a graphic here too from Sri Lanka. It was easy to understand because I have studied it before a little bit. And then getting into the specifics, I feel like sometimes if it's too many poly terms that I don't, I mean, I've come across them and you've mentioned them many times, but sometimes my brain just kind of shuts down when I hear something that I don't understand right away. Like my brain doesn't grasp it in that moment, and it's like, that's it. I can't like. So that's the only thing. Like,
yeah. So we have come to chapter 8 of the Abhidhamma Sangha, which is quite a long journey, no? So as we mentioned before, all the previous chapters, they are very important. They are important foundation for us to understand, to come to possibility to even explain about the Paṭicca-samuppāda. If we don't know what is meant by vibhaka-citta, forget about it then. What are we talking about? Yeah. Then if we don't know what is the nama and rupa cettasika, can be like if they're different. If we don't know about those things, then we can't even talk about it, because then we can just only very superficially talk about because of this link, because of that link. If we don't know that there are kusala, there is akusala, then they give result, and then they give different kinds of rupa, kamaja rupa, chittaja rupa. So mind produced matter, karma produced matter. So all the previous information are very important. But if it is the first round that we study the Abhidhamma Sangha, then surely not all the information are here yet. Yeah, because we went through it, but then we forget. Then if I say now, 19 Patisandhicitta, which one? Can you name it? Maybe or maybe not. Yeah, maybe not or maybe yes. So that's because those are information from previous chapter, and they are all related. If we said Patisandhicitta, which type of citta can become a Patisandhicitta? And then what function do they perform? And what time? So all this information that we have talked about before is going to support our understanding. So if our foundation is a little bit weak, then maybe trying to recall all of them, like which one, and then like especially the chapter the section that we are just looking at right now, for which type of vijnana can condition which type of rupa and which type of cettasika, then we have to have those kind of information. Then if those kind of information are not very, very clear, then mostly we will feel like a little bit confused, like and that is normal, and that is okay, and that is totally okay, because the good thing is we have notes. We have videos. We can always, like, if we don't remember which one is which one, we just go back to the notes and we just take a look. Oh, this one is this one. And then we just think a little bit. I think the Buddha's teaching is extremely logical, and it's very understandable. So if we just clear our mind and think, oh, okay, which one is which one? Then with a little bit of patience, and they are totally, it's clear. Everything is clear. So, but if we don't get the information right away, just like Mila said, if we said, this type of citta, then I don't remember which type are they or what they do, then then we can get a little bit of like confusion or something there. But that's totally okay, because as my teacher said, Abhidhamma is to be studied again and again. First round, second round, third round, and just like Sanda said, the first round we understand something, which good enough. We have the introduction to it. Second time we understand deeper, and then third time more, and then each time we understand more. Many times I always call my teacher and I ask question. Then my teacher always said, the more you think about it, then the more, like, of course, the more you will understand, but then the more you will have to consider deeper things. And so there are a lot of things to think about, but all are clear and possible. And I think we will be able to understand this. Yeah. Thank you, Mila. Yeah, okay. I will try to use more English words, because Mila Bruce also having trouble with Pali words. And yeah. Okay, all good. The others? All right. So in this case, thank you very much, everyone, for your patience and for continuous studying together. It is very interesting subject. We are actually getting to the more interesting part now, because finally we've got all the let's say the ingredients ready, and now it's cooking. Now it is really coming the interesting part, the Paṭicca-samuppāda, the Patthana, and then the practice is coming also, chapter 9. No? So at the end, all this is for what? Not for intellectual and entertainment, but for the helping our understanding, for the practice to understand reality as it really is. No? So this is giving information, is like a guide or a roadmap for when we meditate or when we walk on the path. So this information in the background of the mind is going to help us understand when we really see experientially mind and matter. So in later chapter, we'll also describe how vipassana wisdom arise step by step, and what we need to understand, how we need to understand, and how a person actually get enlightened. So everything, all of this is for the purpose for practice. So we are getting there almost to the chapter 8 already. So just 1.5 chapter to go. Yeah. Okay. Well, so let's stop here today. So thank you again, and let's share merits with all beings, and also we dedicate our effort for the attainment of Magga Phala Jnana. Itam no punyam Magga Phala Jnana sampacheyo hotu. Itam no punyam Magga Phala Jnana sampacheyo hotu. Itam no punyam Magga Phala Jnana sampacheyo hotu. Itam no punyam sabbasatanam bhajimam. Itam no punyam sabbasatanam bhajimam. Itam no punyam sabbasatanam bhajimam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you, everyone. We'll see you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We see
Bye-bye.
each other next week. Yeah.